and foremost, I want to wish everybody a happy 2023. Hopefully everybody out there had a great New Year's. We were going to go live on New Year's Eve, but I ended up helping Tony over at Mid-Michigan Trans move all day, and we ended up going. He bought us dinner, pizza and beer over at his house, and we hung out there till 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I was just flat out wore out. We've been super busy around here for the last couple weeks, actually, since New Year's, helping him get his stuff out of his Midland house, which is probably 15, 18 miles away from here, over to his new house around the corner. We did get the El Camino over there, which you guys seen, but I also helped him get his 77 Trans Am in the pole barn over there. He got his wife's 73 Volkswagen Bug in there. And he also bought a 3rd gen convertible Firebird, which is still sitting outside. We got to get back over there and get the El Camino scooted over a little bit more so he can fit that one last car in a pole barn for storage for the winter. But we've been super busy helping him out. I mean, he helps us out all the time on anything we need. So I told him, yeah, I'd give him a hand. He actually hooked us up with a couple signs for the shop here, which is awesome. He hooked us up with a deep freezer for meat, because I've been getting deer meat from his brother-in-law. He's got it's called a block permit. He's a farmer, and he can shoot as many deer as he wants on his property so it don't wreck his crops. So he had a ton of deer meat, and he hooked us up with some of that. So awesome. Thank you, Mr. Tony. We appreciate it. But today we're going to be out here. We're going to be working on the Blazer. We're going to try and get the whole inside all prepped up. Get all the surface rust off the firewall and the floors. We're going to remove this shifter bracket. Just pull the pin, get it out, and get it painted up. You can see it's got a little bit of rust started on that. And I'm going to get all this stuff here all knocked down. We're going to get it all swept out and get it ready for paint. I did end up buying a couple rollers to do the sheet metal in here. I'm not worried about doing the cage right now. I want to go that light gray or the gray chassis paint that I showed you guys before. I'm still up in the air on it. I might go black. I don't know yet, but we'll find out after we get it all cleaned up and ready to go. I mean, if I feel like painting it black, I'll just go ahead and get it painted black. But we're also going to be going and checking out this dual master cylinder Wilwood setup and get kind of familiar with this set. That way I know how to set the bias from front to rear when it comes time. But we'll get into that when we get into the truck here. And also we're going to be figuring out a spot we can mount our line lock. I got it sat in here. We're going to figure out where we're going to put that in here. But yeah, I mean, I've been running around with our heads cut off for the last couple of weeks, well, since New Year's. Our daughter is getting, what do they call it? Induced 7:30 Monday morning in our hometown of Port Huron for our 6th grandbaby, my granddaughter. She's getting induced, like I said, Monday morning at 7:30, so we're heading down to Port Huron on Monday morning to be there for the birth of our granddaughter. With Tony moving, been super busy with that, and we got Thor's surgery coming up on the 24th of January. I just been stressed out about, that stuff, and but I figured today would be a good day to get out here in the shop and try and spend some quality time out here on the old Blazer and just relieve a little bit of stress. And I figured I'd bring you guys along for the ride, so let's get at it. All right, first thing we're going to do is get the shifter bracket off of here. Like I said, it's pretty convenient. Then we're going to get this tunnel out of here. I got 3 rivets on this side and 3 on the other side. like that. Well, that makes it super convenient. I can get up them bars all nice and good. And you actually see the paint running. But now I can get all up and get all these bars nice. Get everything else all prepped up. But I'm going to put you guys on a time lapse while I get in here. I'm sure you don't want to sit here and watch me sand. And we're scuffing up that extra severe duty scuffing pad. But yeah, there's Zeus fasteners that we're going to be using to reattach that tunnel. So, heck yeah. That way I can remove it. Because the one thing I did notice about this is, let me get you off the tripod here. One thing I noticed about this setup that I don't like is that the transmission mount is welded right in to the drive shaft loop and into the chassis. So, I mean, if you're doing it from the bottom, you're going to have to bring it up, slide the trans back, get it on your dowel pins, and then set it down onto the mount, which I don't like. I don't know why they did that and didn't put a removable cross member in for the tranny, but I guess when I take that back down to them and see if there's something we can do, or I don't know, I think they might be just easier putting it in through taking the tunnel out and just sticking it in through here. I mean, I would imagine that's probably what they had in mind. But yeah, it's super easy to get at all the bolt holes now. Anybody that's ever worked on an S10 or a Blazer like this, they know what kind of a bitch it is to get the trances in and out of these vehicles. But this ain't an ordinary Blazer either. I mean, obviously, with it being tube chassis, but I do like how that trans tunnel is going to be removable. Even if I don't use Zeus fasteners, I could nut and bolt it in. I've never used Zeus fasteners, so I don't know actually how they work, but I'm sure it can't be that difficult. The provisions are there. The main part of the Zeus is already on the frame. 3 spots are on the chassis. So we're just gonna have to get them through the top and get them locked in. So, all right, I'm gonna put you guys on a time lapse and I'm gonna get at it. Most of it prepped in there. We got the front half of the firewall, well, the whole firewall, and the sheet metal up to the seat. As you guys can see here, I took the rear tunnel out too. I drilled the pop rivets out and took that out. That way I can get in here and get the Xing, finish getting this rear drive shaft loop, this front drive shaft loop and cross member tranny mount, the bars, the chassis bars that run up here. But I am going to take this driver's seat out too. As you guys can see there, we're getting, there's surface rust starting back behind the seat there. And I want to get that all out of there, unbolt the seat, be able to get all that out of here. I got most of it out of here. What's going on here? There we go. We got pretty much this whole floor done. Firewall's all done. All the chrome molly bars up there, the steering column. I got a little bit more to do over here on the toe board, underneath the brake pedal. But in order to do it right, I think the seat should come out, and I can scrub all that out and do it the way it should be done. I know we're supposed to be putting this truck together, but here I am tearing it more and more apart. I guess I could have just put the truck together and not worried about it. You know, some people do that. I've seen them at the racetracks before where the inside of the sheet metal ain't done painted, the roll bars ain't painted. I think it just looks like shit. I like nice stuff, so I decided to, you know, I might as well just go ahead, like I said, and remove that rear tunnel. And I'm gonna have to get some help and get that seat out of there. I'm gonna have to be underneath, and somebody's gonna have to be up here to unwrench it. Or I guess, yeah, even though the seat comes apart off the brackets there, I'm still gonna have to, I ain't got 6-foot arms to reach over and hold the other 2 bolts on that side, or the nuts. And this side I could probably reach no problem, but that side's going to be a little tricky, so I might have to come out and have the wife run the drill for me while I'm laying out on the floor. But yeah, until we get that seat out of there and finish getting the floor prepped, sanded down and cleaned up and swept out, vacuumed, blown out, whatever. I did break my air hose out. I was going to blow it out, but then I decided I'm just going to take that driver's seat out too and get it done right. That way it'll be done from the back wall, which is the back wall forward will be completely done. Even the outside chassis underneath, I won't have to worry about it. I don't know why in the hell, I don't know why in the hell somebody would do sheet metal work without painting the chassis first, unless he was one of them guys, you know, the owner that didn't want to spend the money for Jason to paint the chassis, the extra money for him to do it before they did all the tin work in there. But man, it's a bitch to, you know, it's gonna rust over time. I mean, it ain't gonna, the chrome moly won't rust through, but just knowing that it's got a coating on it and it ain't gonna get, you know, build up rust is how I want to attack this plan. I know it sucks me tearing this truck apart more on the interior, but it's only a couple nuts and bolts, a couple rivets, and 6 Zeus fasteners, and it'll be put back together, and I'll know in my mind that it's done correctly. But I'm going to climb back in here. I'm going to spin you guys around, and we're going to check out this Wilwood dual master cylinder setup. Like I said, I really can't go any much farther until we get that driver's seat out of there, so I'm kind of at a standstill on that part for now. But we're going to climb in there, take a peek at that, and we'll go over some of that stuff, and then get it kind of familiarized the way we can set the bias from front to rear. So hang with us. All right, we're back inside the Blazer again. We're going to take a peek at this Wilwood dual master cylinder setup, see if we can kind of figure it out. There's a couple things I see on it that I'm going to have to Google, maybe go to Wilwood's website and check out. But I'm going to spin you guys around and we're going to check it out. Give it up close and personal with it. As you guys know, we got the Wilwood dual master cylinder setup here. Pretty nice setup. And I forgot who commented on the one video when I was talking, it needed I don't think it needed a proportioning valve just because of the setup that it is, and they were correct. I think these are your adjustments here on each master cylinder. And you push the pedal down, let me get the steering wheel out of the way. You push the pedal down and it will activate either this one first, the number 1, or number 2, depending on where I got my adjustments. But I see they got a set screw with a nut on it there, and this one's missing it, which I don't know where it is. It ain't here in the truck. So I'm gonna have to Google and see what that actually does. Is it important? I don't know. It doesn't seem like anything's, loose. Everything functions the way it should. But it's probably just a locking nut, I'm thinking, to lock the collar here to the shaft. Because I was thinking, wow, I mean, if that ain't in there, this arm right here could pop off of that, and we'd really be up shit's creek. But I don't think that's the way that works. I think you'd have to take that whole rod out. But yeah, that's the adjustment for sure on your bias. Which one, if we're going to have number 1 going to the front, then, we could set our bias here. But another thing I've noticed too, I'm going to have to trim this down. That's got some sharp edges on it. And I'm going to cut it back into here on an angle. Probably even with the master cylinder, just cut it straight off. I don't know why they left it so long. But, if you ever get into a wreck and your knee or something comes up and hits that, you're definitely going to get sliced open like a fish. But as you guys can see, I did get the other seat, or the seat, unbolted from the brackets. And it ain't actually as bad as I thought it was in here. Let me spin this light around. We got some surface rust here and down the seam here, but I can get to. But the brackets underneath don't look too bad. I'm probably still going to take the brackets out. That way I can get some paint underneath. That way it's all done right. I can see a little bit of surface rust underneath the edge of this this bracket here, but yeah, she's coming along. I got pretty much everything prepped. I got the toe board prepped over there. I got the rest of the bars up in here prepped. Who goes there? No. Hey, Thor. What are you doing, buddy? But, yeah, so I forget who said it. Maybe I think it was Rocker Pad or something about, this setup doesn't take a proportioning valve. They take, they're adjustable on the separate master cylinders. If it was him, he was 100% correct. So, here we go. Like I said, I am going to Google and see what that other set screw is over there, what that does. I'm sure it needs it. I just don't know why it's missing it there, but yeah, so alright, well, I'm gonna climb my big ass out of here, and we'll get right back at you. Oh, and one more thing before we climb out of here. I was thinking about putting a line lock maybe up here. I don't know if I really want it bolted to the cage. I'd like to have it bolted over here along this pillar, but it doesn't seem to interfere with the door. I don't think it'll interfere getting in or out, but I think the best spot's probably going to be right in here. I'm going to see if I can find some of them fasteners that I can drill a hole and insert the fastener and just bolt it to it. So I think it'll look a lot better. But alright, let me get out of here. Alright, well, there we go. I think we got quite a bit accomplished today. It is 6:07:65 in here. I kind of got the wood stove turned down. It gets that thing will rock you out of here if you let it. But we had the jams playing. We were rocking out. We got a lot of stuff accomplished today. We had Tony stop over a little while ago and drop off 4 more big bags of deer meat. I think it was another 35 pounds. He said, "Here, fill that freezer up." So I'm like, "Cool, man, we really appreciate it." But I'm still going to have to get some help to get them brackets out, to I'm gonna paint underneath them. I'm gonna do it right. There ain't no sense of leaving them in just painting around them. So I'm gonna have either the boy or the wife come out and give me a hand. The wife's actually got a migraine today, so she just came out to check on me with Thor and make sure I was still alive out here. But that's probably going to wrap this video up. It's running pretty long. One more thing I wanted to, next video, we're going to be cutting this oil filter open. I ended up keeping that AC Delco filter. I want to see what caused that to plug up. I guess I was prematurely dissing AC Delco, you know, because people say they're a name brand filter, and I was talking to Tony about it, and Tony said that he has on his 2002, he bought another truck, a 2002, a while back, and it had lifter ticks, so he was flushing the engine out, and it ended up plugging up 6 filters with him trying to clean the engine out. And you know, even though Jenny's truck is, we're the second owners of that truck, I don't know what kind of oil change schedule the lady from GM that owned her truck did, you know, as far as oil change maintenance on it. So, you know, it's got a lot of miles on that truck, and, you know, it uses a little bit of oil in between oil changes, like a half a quart, about 2,500 miles. So what I usually do, I'll dump a half a quart of tranny fluid in it for the last 500 miles before I get ready to change oil. And Tony said that's probably what did it, is because trans fluid, everybody knows, is a cleaning agent. And with me doing that, it probably broke some shit free in the engine and resulted in plugging that filter up. So I'm just curious. I'm going to cut it open probably in the next video. I'll bring you guys along. We'll cut it open and we'll see what kind of shit's in it, and we'll go from there. But until then, as usual, guys, I really appreciate everybody for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. All right, bye-bye.